Tailor will help your business grow, from building customer-friendly websites to helping people find you online and connect on social media. Reach more people more often. Do more business with
or I know. Sometimes I don't know, but I think I know. So the digital customer journey is probably a little bit simplified, or these days we move so quickly. So in a matter of minutes, we can see, we can think, we can do, and then we sort of move through to purchase. So if you think about back in the day, and I'll use the example of a car again, that might be a 6-month consumer journey for a lot of people. These days, you could see a banner ad online, you could click through, and you could request a brochure in a matter of moments. And so that's why it's so exciting to be online these days with the right sort of awareness marketing, because you've got to be present where the consumer is and be ready to capitalise on any moment where they show interest in your product.
Okay, so one of the things that we've introduced, and probably 18 months ago, Noelia, was digital display as a solution for our customers. But digital display is quite significant, right? So in Australia, advertising revenue for digital display this year is going to sort of peak at around $4.5 billion. So it's quite substantial. There's about $9 billion spent on digital online advertising. Digital display was one of those things, Erin, that you mentioned, was hard, but now small businesses can tap into this. So what is digital display all about?
So I guess like Erin was saying before, it's one of these spaces that has grown and grown and grown every single year, and it keeps growing, as you're saying, Christian. And Erin and I were having a chat before. It's kind of the new space where you would normally maybe go, you're on the street and you see a billboard, and that kind of passive advertising that you were kind of used to seeing offline, but brought online. So as you browse the internet and you go through different websites, you see different banner ads, as you can kind of see in the diagram on the screen right now.
So it's all about being seen in the places where people visit, and places perhaps as a small business owner you never thought you could get there, but the opportunity exists today. Let's take a look at some of the sizes and the different things that you can do. So we're talking about the banner ads that appear on prominent websites, news sites, sports sites, so websites that we'd all be familiar with.
Well, have a look just at the bottom of that page, I guess. What have we got there? We've got Facebook, we've got 9MSN, Outlook, Yahoo, Better Homes and Gardens. So when you think about it, these are huge traffic. These are huge places where a lot of Australians just go to get their news or to visit every day. And that's essentially your customers. So this is not us sort of inviting you to take part in a tiny website that no one goes to. You're going to be exposed alongside big brands to some really prolific websites.
Yeah.
And one of the advantages, I think, to digital display in general is that it's not limited to one site. So the opportunity to be presented often is there, but it does cross over into social media as well, Noelia.
Yep, 100%. So I guess digital display is all about getting your brand out there, and it doesn't matter really where those views or those impressions come from, as long as your audience is there for them to engage and know your brand and know about you. So from that perspective, the Yellow brand is pretty agnostic. We're not really married to any of these websites. We really want to deliver the banner ads and the display ads wherever they're going to get the best performance.
Yeah. And Erin, one of the great things about digital display advertising really is the opportunity to tailor the message. What are some of the tips and things that people should be considering when it comes to the messages in the ads? How would people get a good result?
I love this question. So because these days you're exposed to so many advertising messages, what you've really got to do is filter through that noise and give people something that's relevant to them. That is going to make them go, oh, hang on, that's about me. And so, for example, we've got an example live on the page, but I can make one up. Oh no, we'll use that one. So what's really relevant here is Autobahn. So they're using their business name. They're obviously appealing to people that need auto supplies. Secondly, they've got their phone number very, very prominently. So they're giving people two ways to, I suppose, take action. They can either call or they can click through. Now, also with that phone number, people are going to be able to make an assessment and go, roughly, you know what, that is actually quite local to me. And so there's a couple of sort of signifiers there, and using images of the storefront, that's a really fantastic sort of thing to do as well. In a couple of just those small tactics, you've shown your category. So anyone that's interested in cars is going to be like, that's for me. You've shown that you're somewhat local with your telephone number. And you've also given a really strong call to action, either by someone engaging with the ad or calling you. So that gets the two thumbs up from me.
Okay. What we're going to do now is quickly take a minute to look at a video that's going to give us a sense of some of the technology and digital display. It can be a little bit spooky as it sort of follows you around the net. So we want to talk about that in a moment, but let's hear from Greg now.
Hi, I'm Greg. I work with the digital capability team here at Census. Part of my role is to work with our frontline account management teams to ensure that the advice you get from Census is always up to date with the latest trends and aligned to meet the needs of your business. Today though, I'd like to share with you one of my favourite features of yellow display ads, retargeting. I'm sure most of you would have experienced retargeting even if you weren't sure what it was called before. Have you ever visited a company's website and then had ads from the same company follow you around as you surf other sites and even browse your local feeds? Well, that's retargeting. Let me show you how it works. When you visit a company's website, like Census in this case, if that company has yellow display, then it places a small piece of code on your computer or phone so that it remembers you were there. We call that a cookie. When you're then called away from your computer or phone because the kids are making a mess or someone's at the door, you may forget about the fact you were checking out Census, but luckily the cookie ensures that Census won't forget about you. After you've cleaned up the mess or your visitor leaves, and at some point you jump back on the computer or phone to surf around, other sites recognise the cookie and tell it to remind you that you're interested in Census by showing you ads that drive you back to the Census website. This could happen on Better Homes and Gardens, news.com, or even Facebook. In fact, it could happen on hundreds of hand-put websites right across Australia. The end result is the consumer is reminded to head back to Census and complete their research, or even better, complete their sale.
Thank you. Now, retargeting, of course, it's quite interesting, right? And the technology that's behind this is one of the advantages, Noelia, that really enables a small business to take advantage of this. So it's not just that a message is seen, it's an opportunity to draw a customer back.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that's one of the really good technology pieces that we've got here at Yellow. You don't only create the ads through the platform and see reporting through the platform, but we also have the ability to retarget people who might be interested or are interested or have shown interest in your product or service.
Oh,
So
great.
that's a good point actually, just to take a step back. It's when someone visits your website, right? So you can, that's how it sort of activates. So someone comes to your
someone
website.
could also click on your ad, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then next time that they sort of pop onto a website or what have you, then the ad will appear. Okay, cool. And you know, like a lot of you have probably experienced this and gone, that's weird, as in you may have visited a website or seen a business and been interested in that, and then a week or two later, or sometimes in a couple of hours or the next day, that ad will pop up. So that is what we mean by retargeting.
Most definitely. And if you think about that purchase funnel that we spoke about before, it may be quite a bit of time between somebody having an idea and thinking about something and then making the purchase. So to be able to reinforce your brand or products and services throughout that journey is really a great advantage for small business owners.
Yep.
Well, it's one of the techniques that we use at an enterprise level, and again, that small businesses can access that type of technology is really great, because don't forget, guys, at home we have agencies that help us here at Yellow do this sort of technical stuff, and that's why the fact that the Yellow display product comes with all of that built in is really quite phenomenal.
So let's talk about some of the features, right? So it's fast. So digital display should be quick, fast, it's nimble to get the message out there. Noelia?
Yeah, it is something that should really, as you say, be set up and go out really quickly, which is something that, to your point, Erin, we don't have, I guess, a creative person in the middle going back and forth between the customer and the rep approving creatives. Everything is done pretty quickly as well in the platform.
In fact, it usually takes us about 2 weeks to get a display banner out, us here at Yellow. So one thing that, you know, this product has actually got an advantage over how big businesses would do display is that it is that instantaneous. I mean, for us, we would have to brief our creative agency, and then we would have to get them to build it, and then we dispatch to our media agency, and that can take 2 weeks. So you guys are actually
Pretty lucky.
very lucky.
So it's that speed, right? The other thing is it's hyper-local, right? So
Yes.
when you're using marketing, you want to target your ideal customer. And what's beautiful about digital display is the ability to hone in on, it's down to a suburb postcode level, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we even have a radius tool that enables you to select 20, 30, 40 kilometers around your actual business,
Yes.
the door to your business.
Yeah.
So that's pretty powerful.
And great for sort of multi-site businesses as well, right? So they may
Yes.
have 2 spots.
Yeah, and you can target those 2 spots as well.
Yep.
And just coming back to that local bit, so remember what I said before about creative relevance? The biggest point of relevance that you can do for your business is sort of say, I am right here. I am not a business on the other side of town. I am, within 5 minutes drive from you. And that is the way that this tailoring works really, really well to do that.
Cool. Now, one of the other features, of course, of the product that it is tailored and it's easy. And when we say easy, we're talking about it's easy to design, it's easy to look at, it's easy for people to understand and to really make the most of that. One of the huge features of this particular service is that it's safe, right? So, Noelia, can you tell us what can go wrong if somebody
Yes.
isn't using a white list or a selected group of sites to publish the content on?
Yeah, well, in this, display world that we were talking about before, there's hundreds of websites that come online every single day. And the risk of not knowing where you are delivering the ads is that your brand could actually appear next to content that is not considered brand safe.
Yes.
Well, let's be really frank about that. I'm sure that nobody wants to appear on an adult website,
Correct.
or I'm trying to think.
Well, gaming as well. So there's a lot of
Gambling,
gaming,
yes.
gaming,
Yep.
gambling, and are sites that may not appeal to the businesses.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that coming online every single day. So at Yellow, we decided that what we were going to do was select a list of websites that we were happy to serve or display our ads on. And these were websites that humans, that we actually had a team here and have a team here that actually went through and checked.
Oh, they went to all of those websites and made
every
sure that they
single
were
website.
legitimate, they were safe, there was no questionable content on there.
We also checked who was advertising on the websites as well. Sometimes some of the websites are not premium, but they're still very well known and popular, and brands like Qantas and Coles and the likes actually advertise on those websites, so we pay attention to that as well whenever we're vetting.
Yeah, and localized as well. So we can keep expanding our network all the time, which is we hand select the sites that we want to publish the content on. So as an example, if you live in a place like Adelaide, the website Adelaide Now is really popular for local content. So we then go and access those networks that
That's
are
right.
unique to each specific location, right?
Yep, that's right.
Oh, awesome. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other reasons why people may choose Yellow for their digital display advertising. So we've been around a very long time, over 130 years, but digital's not new to us. So we've really partnered with some amazing technology to help customers target the customers they want. So we touched on that this crosses over to social. So what sort of targeting can we do, Noelia?
Yes, actually we have social as part of our display product, and that actually gives us the power to target an audience based on demographic information and things like their interests and what things they might actually do online. So if you're a restaurant, then we can actually target people who might be interested in foods, so your foodies that you actually get on Facebook, as well as the age and gender and things like that are a little bit more granular.
Yeah.
So say with that Autobarn example that we used earlier, now you could sort of say someone that's interested in automotive or cars, and then you might want to say, okay, I want to target fellas between 30 and 50. Is that something that you could do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's easily done, and that's something that the media sales advisor would obviously discuss with the customer before the decision is made. It is easily changeable as well. So if we see that on month 1 that's our target, but on month 2 maybe we want to go a little bit broader, then we can change that as well. So.
And what that does at the end of the day, guys, is make sure that every dollar that you spend is actually putting an ad in front of someone who is relevant to you. So that means less wastage, which, you know, that's where digital really becomes effective, because you can be that targeted.
Now, one of the great features is that this product really does drive great performance when it comes to traffic. So Noelia, and I think it's because of the nature of the platform and the types of sites we've chosen, but we get, on average, is it 3.5 times more clicks than the standard averages in Australia?
Yes, great point. We see anything between 2 and 3%, 2 and 3 times higher click-through rates than the Australian average. And it is a mix of having the platform and the technology that actually optimizes the ads pretty much all the time. Also having that do-it-with-me approach. So the MSA is there guiding the customers and actually creating really good ads. And also the mix of websites that we've got in there.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, ultimately, digital display is one of those things that is about speed for us, and it's about helping people get themselves seen, but also to drive traffic to your website. So most small businesses that we work with, and hopefully everybody watching today has a website, but you can have the best website, but if you don't have traffic to that website, it's literally like a billboard in the desert.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think so many people put so much effort into building themselves a fabulous website that represents their brand, and that's fantastic. But let's face it, you've got to get people to it, otherwise it's not going to be effective for your business. So you make a really good point there, Christian, in that display is definitely an awareness piece, but unlike a traditional billboard out there in the street, say if you see it while you're driving down CityLink, now you can't take immediate action. Well, I hope you can't, because you're driving. But this is where display is really amazing, because first you build that awareness, but it's a built-in call to action that actually gives the customer what they want on the spot. They click through, they become immersed in your environment, they see your website, they learn more about your brand, and that's why it's so good.
It is. It gives people options. Now, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about digital display, Erin, your team's done an amazing job. They've put together an ebook which people can get. So where can they find that? So
if you go to yellow.com.au, which is our beautiful website, and look on our digital display page, this ebook sort of goes through everything that we've discussed today, probably in a more logical fashion than we've presented it to you, I think. You know, we've all got Friday on the mind, and we might have been a bit haphazard today, but please do download it and have a look. It will spark some really good conversations with your Yellow sales advisor, and hopefully fill in some of the gaps if we've missed anything.
Yeah, so lots of insights, tips, guides, and how to make sure that you're maximising the opportunity there. Noelia, you've been the lead for this particular solution that we've delivered to market. Do you have any final tips for our customers watching today?
I guess for me it comes down to 2 things when it comes to display. As Erin said before, being really relevant on what the message is and what creative is that you're using, and also making sure that whatever you decide to do, that you pick a solution where your brand will be safe, and that is something that I believe is really important when doing display.
Yeah. And Erin, of course, from your perspective, I mean, growing a brand is something that you're incredibly passionate about. How should small businesses take this forward?
Well, I think what you need to do is try it. So, like anything, and particularly digital marketing, until you give it a go, you won't know if it's going to work for you. The best thing about this is that everything is completely trackable, and we didn't sort of go into the tracking ability to a great degree, but your Yellow advisor will be able to help you with that. Essentially, you will be able to sit back after a period of time and go, I know exactly how many clicks that delivered, I know how many times that was put in front of my target market, and that's what's so exciting. Compared to, say, something, you know, investing in a sign on one of your main streets, like, you're not going to know how many people have seen that. So my big thing would be give it a go, watch the reporting really carefully. But yeah, I think just think of your 2 or 3 biggest and most relevant things that you can say about your business, whether that be that you're local, and be really, really clear about what you're into, be it cars, be it whatever. And then you should see some fantastic results.
Excellent. Now, of course, we are in the lead up to Christmas. It's a very busy time of the year. It's also a time of the year where many consumers do a lot of planning. So this is a fantastic time for small business to be really exploring those options and promoting yourself. So to help you to do that, for today and for today only, for our customers watching this webinar, we're offering the first month free on digital display. So make sure you talk to your Yellow advisor about how you can take advantage of this offer and be seen by more people. And we're talking tens of thousands of impressions on a monthly basis for your business. So if you think about that compared to a letterbox flyer, this is a pretty great opportunity for customers to get exposure.
Absolutely it is. I mean, it's a sort of reach that you just can't achieve in traditional media, or particularly not without a massive, massive investment. So I think, you know, first month free is the perfect way to sort of get involved. Now, Christian, you did say today only, but I see there you've said until Monday 22nd of October.
Yes.
So guys, if you need the weekend to think about it, no drama, but I'm pretty sure that Christian will let you have the deal if it's Monday that you prefer to, you know, get into it.
Absolutely. Well, Erin and Noelia, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, of course, to our customers today that have been watching across Australia. Your Yellow advisor is with you, and they're there to pick up the conversation and show you how this can work for your business. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yellow will help your business grow, from building customer-friendly websites to helping people find you online and connect on social media. Reach more people more often. Do more business with Yellow at yellow.com.au.
Yellow.